What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. Give you a quick overview of what is driving it today, what shorts are up to, and what's been coming out associated to the company itself. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 4.8%. Market's been open roughly 40 minutes. 263 the high, 252 the low. 8.4 million for volume and 38 is the average. So a lot of volume today. That's kind of a good thing. Market's very optimistic. A couple different attributing points to that. One of which is just optimism associated to companies unveiling their earnings. A lot of analysts have come out openly and stated that there's no reason to really doubt Apple, Intel, and many other companies are going to have bad earnings. So a lot of optimism for that. And plus, no real escalation came over the weekend from Israel. So they didn't retaliate. And so oil is going down significantly. So typically the market's inverse to that. So that is what is driving the market higher. There is some things coming out associated to Lucid that I'll go over. Nothing official though, so no SEC filings, no press releases, but there was this that came out. So ZACK is finally saying that Lucid is a buy. And it's been a very long time since I believe ZACK has said that it's a buy. I think last time was, if I remember correctly, late 2022 or early 2023. So this is something, again, to take note of. But aside from that though, there is this. So recent flyover showed a hell of a lot of vehicles at AMP1. And so in the past, it shows demand, right? So you're seeing a lot of trailers really pulling vehicles away. So yeah, it's they're really kicking ass. And historically, over the last 3 years, even though in 2022 and 2023, the delivery numbers weren't where people really truly wanted them to be and expected, but Q4 is always their best quarter. So it looks like they are really ramping up just to get the product out as fast as possible. So latest flyover is very good. And I don't know how often that individual does it. I know Bear's workshop used to do it several times a week. So hopefully that individual is able to do a little bit more updates than what he has or he or she has been doing. But aside from that, there was this. So I myself am a very big fan of Lucid's expansion because they like to target where there's either kind of a lot of demand or just lack of supply. So in my opinion, Lucid preparing to kind of expand into kind of surrounding areas close to AMP2 is very, very ideal, only because with AMP2 ramping up, they can easily distribute those vehicles with virtually little cost, right? And like I said, if there is limited supply, then Lucid might be potentially the only contender kind of going to North Africa, for instance, or stuff like that. So this is something to take note of, and hopefully Peter does talk on this expansion during their upcoming Q3 earnings. So yeah, that's kind of what is floating around associated to Lucid. Going over to shorts, they are returning 193,000 shares. So this is a very nice change of events. 19.89% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 237.03 million shares. Cost to borrow average has been dropping quite a lot. So 2.16% is that average. Utilization is 77.99%. So a lot of people are saying that Lucid is a squeeze play. So my video I'm going to do, let's say tomorrow, for instance, I will go over, for instance, Lucid's circumstances and Volkswagen. A lot of people are comparing Lucid to Volkswagen largely because of the PIF. But I'm going to compare and contrast between the two just to see if Lucid is a squeeze play, again, based on similarities to Volkswagen. But going over options, once again, factoring in the market's only been open like 40 something minutes, 220,000 in calls, 28,000 in puts, 57% of all the options being done so far are bearish. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be around that kind of $3 range. And then looking at the puts, they are anticipated to kind of be sub 250 by this week. So some people are kind of calling out the, I guess, hype today is not really justified and stuff like that. But these are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So some selling, some buying, but regardless, it does show a lot of interest in Lucid. So I think that's kind of a good thing as well. Right now with at $2.61, right below this R1. So it's probably going to be flirting a little bit with that. We'll just have to wait and see if it's able to close above it or below it. But 254 is going to be the following support, followed by 247. Flip side, 266 and then 273 are going to be the next resistance points. And on the actual chart itself, so today it is fighting to get above that ALMA. So it kind of shows more of a reversal is coming, and still below a lot of the key pivotal moving averages. So 50, 100 and 200 day super trend still does indicate that it is relatively bearish overall. So it needs to get to roughly that $3 range before that does convert. But stochastic RSI very oversold, so good piece of news coming out associated to Lucid or possibly the broader market. You could see a rush of value investors getting in, but despite that though, you see a nice bullish deviation starting to form, so blue line above the orange or whatever that is. So technicals, still cautiously optimistic on that. So again, it could show at least a precursor for a nice reversal. How high it goes, I think it will all stem back to the resistance points. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. No new analyst ratings or anything like that. So last one was done 8 days ago. $3 price target RBC Tom, and once again, with their earnings roughly like a week away for the most part, you should see a rush of new ratings coming in associated to that. So if Lucid and Peter's able to give a lot of good future guidance, I think a lot of analysts can really hang on to that. But nothing really new coming from analysts for estimates. So I've been monitoring that, giving you all updates on that on a side note. So earnings per share, a lot of the other key metrics as well. So no change for that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Lucid. What's your viewpoint on this expansion? Do you think that's just unnecessary costs, or do you think they are doing it for some reason? Or is it the PIF more the instigator trying to push expansion in that area? What's your viewpoint? And don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. 2 things: take advantage of this promo because it gives you 8 free shares. Each share is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. You might as well do that. Free is amazing. Aside from that, I did launch memberships. So if you like the channel, want to support the growth, you can definitely do so by joining as a member. Or if you just want buy signals on stocks and options, there's also a tier for that. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.